I've got some interesting equipment here. First of all, a Perspex tube, data logger, sound sensor. And what you can do with this equipment is to work out the velocity of sound in air. How do we do that? Well, first of all, we connect our data logger, and we first of all put some power into that. Secondly, turn it on, and when you see the green there, it's a sign that it's on, as well as the blue there. We then connect the data logger to the computer. Next, we open up Pasco, which is the software that we require. 2 clicks instead of 1. Then we get this screen. Now up here you can see we've got an icon which says Hardware Setup. I'm going to click on that. And what I need to do now is attach or to make sure that the data logger is on. And then here, first of all, I'll need to connect the sound sensor. So this is the sound sensor. I need to connect that to the data logger. And the connection is here, so that's going in. Doesn't really matter which one of these it goes into, and you can see a little groove here at the top. That groove goes at the top, goes in there, and now I should be able to click on the and scroll down here and find the sound sensor. So I'm scrolling down here to see if I can find S for sound sensor. I click on that, and if I see a red line here, that's a sign that there's a problem. What I might do is reboot this and see if that's going to solve the problem. So I click on Tools, so I click on Hardware Setup. Make sure that's on. Then I click here on the position here where the sound sensor is connected. I scroll down here to sound sensor under S, so there it is, sound sensor. Click there. Now I've got that green line, so everything's okay. Now the next step is to go across here and double click on Graph. So 2 quick clicks. And what I also need to do is to remove this part of the screen here, which I do by clicking the cross here. Now, here I need to click on this to say sound intensity, and as soon as I've done that, I've got sound intensity here and time there. What I have to do in order to get the velocity of sound is to make a sharp sound, and to make that sharp sound I'm going to use my ID card. And I'm going to make a sound like this by going like that on the table, on the bench. So, everything is in place. I'm just going to put the front of the sound sensor right next to the opening of the tube. I'll start the record button, so I'll click here, record. and you can see there that it's recording my voice. I'll make a sharp sound and stop. Now, this is the sharp sound that I've made with the ID card. How am I going to use that to work out the velocity of sound? Well, what I need to do is, first of all, move the screen. Now you can see how I'm doing that. I've clicked and holding the mouse, and I'm moving the sound there to the start. Then I'm moving the pointer down here to the units that are on the x-axis. I'm clicking and holding and stretching. I'm stretching this right out. And what I'm looking for is an echo. Now, this is the basis for the working out of the velocity of sound. So again, I'm moving this back here into position, stretching this out. Now, when you're doing this, one of the hardest parts to do is actually to work out where the echo is. So we've made a sharp sound here. The sound has travelled down to the end of the tube and back again. That is the echo. So what we're doing is picking up the length of time it takes to go from here to here and back again. And what I've got to do is to find out how far that distance is. And again, what I need to do is to measure that with a ruler. If I find it's 1.5 metres, for example, that means that the total distance that the sound has travelled is from here to here and back again. So that distance I've got to multiply by 2 in order to get the total distance that the sound has travelled through. Going over here to the sound, what I've done, as you can see, is stretch that sound out, and I've got to look for the echo. Now the sign for the echo is first of all a large sound here, and then followed by a lower amplitude section here, and then another section here. So it's a bit hard to judge, but my judgment is that this is the echo of that. In other words, this is where I've made the sound first, and here is where the sound has come back to the sound sensor. What I need to do is to find out what length of time it took to go from here to here, or if you like, from here to here. Now this is where we're going to get some uncertainty in our measurements. But we'll just see how we go with that. In order to do that, what I'll do is, again, stretch this out a little bit further and pick what might be the start of the sound. So I might pick this one here. Now, in order to get a more accurate picture of, or an idea of the time at which it started, I can look here and go down here to the x-axis, and that looks like 8.736. What I might do though is click on this and add the coordinates. So I click there and move this here to the start, and there I've got 8.736. Where might it have come back? Where might it have echoed? Hard to judge, but maybe it's here. So I'll move this to here, and that gives me a reading there of 8.744 seconds. So in order to work out how far it took to travel from here to here and back again, what I've got to do is get the difference in time between this number and this number. Okay, this is 8.736 seconds. I have to subtract that number from this number, and that gives me the time. I've got a measure of the distance. I've got the distance from here to here and back again. You have to measure that with a ruler. So you now have two numbers that will let you work out the speed of sound. You have the distance and you have the time. See how you go? See if that's close to what we regard as being the expected value. That is the value that most people consider to be a reasonable velocity of sound on an ordinary day like today. You should now be able to print your results out. Now, in order to do that, what I would suggest to you to do is, first of all, go to File here, down to Print Page Setup, click Print Page Setup, change the setting here to Landscape, click OK, go up here to File, go down here to Print, and notice here that you have to change this to room 366. That is, if you are in room 366. You click that, then you click Print, and out will come your results. Best of luck with your results.